Mozart was reputed to have written a musical game. A game was published when Mozart was in Paris, and maybe it was by him. And the same thing was published immediately after his death by his student Hummel, who claimed that it was genuinely by Mozart. This is a piece called Musikalisches Würfelspiel, and it eventually made its way into the catalogue of legitimate works in about 1930, and it was kicked out of the same catalogue in about 1965. Its origins are distinctly spurious. There is, however, a fragment sitting in Paris. It's got a number and it's genuine. I passed some copies of it around today. Numbered 516F. I'll explain that numbering in a moment. And it's a collection of random silliness that's intended as some sort of musical game. The way these games worked, the composer wrote miscellaneous bars of music and then devised some system by which they cobbled together either by chance or according to some formula. The example in Paris is missing any sense of how one should actually put it together, and I've devoted quite a bit of time thinking this idea through and actually realising it work. And it's that I'm about to present to you. The most important part of one of these pieces is the harmonic code. That's like musical grammar, so that we don't put together gobbledygook. If it was just random bars, it ends up sounding a bit ADHD. May I have a chocolate from Music Paris? Lovely. It's much more useful to have something fairly coherent and actually arranging the myriad possibilities so that when we start to select things, as I say, by random, by any other way, we get something useful. This cube has 6 different bars of music on it. No 2 faces are the same. And I have 23 more such cubes. There are 4 cubes that are static. Their material is the same regardless. No cube is interchangeable with any other, but any face of any cube can be selected. And we will end up with a coherent piece of music, every part of it by Mozart, and actually based on a harmonic code that I managed to identify from another work from the same period. Now, I'll just go through that again. There are 24 bars of music. Each bar has 6 possible choices. Does anybody want to guess how many options that gives us? Okay, it's 6 to the 24th power, which is a biggish number. Okay. Won't get through all of the combinations tonight. Just to give you an idea of the magnitude of this, if I could play 250,000 variations a year, which will be feasible even allowing time for cups of coffee, it would take 18 trillion years to get through it. And that is vastly more time than will exist from the Big Bang to the end of time as we know it when the universe collapses. So, hidden among these combinations is the key to the work, but there's absolutely no chance that you'll ever find it, because that's the likelihood of it turning up. One day I will tell people what it is. So I think we should now do this. So we're going to select numbers. We need numbers between 1 and 6. And I have my willing assistants ready with dice. They're going to throw the dice out to you, and you can throw them back, and then they will put a bit of spin on it if you can, and we will start assembling the piece. But we first of all need some blank paper. Thank you, ladies. There you go. Can we have the first number, please? Could you have the first bar? We have number 1. We have number 5.
Number 2.
Another number 2.
Have you got insurance cover for hurt people?
Tons. Number 1.
Number 4.
Number 5. Number 5. 3, 5.
Number 1. Number 6.
Number 6. Oh. 3 6s. That's a roll. A 3. Number 6. Number 3. And number 2. Another number 2.
Number 4.
Number 5. Number 2. Are you ready? I bet I should explain. There are some repeat sections in this. So I play from the beginning to there. That repeat sign sends me back to the beginning. I play those 2, then those 2. The second line is exactly the same, and this sign sends me back to here, and I conclude the minuet here. I then play the trio section, which is the same format. I play 4 bars, first 2, last 2. Then we go back to the beginning of the minuet. occasionally a new scrap by Mozart does turn up, but we're not going to find any more major Mozart works. Mozart himself created a pretty good catalogue of his pieces. Constanza made sure she knew what was in circulation. So the only things that come up, unfortunately, are little snippets. And one came to light only a few weeks ago in Europe. And again, they're typically small pieces of about 16 bars that do this sort of thing. Would you like to do one more?
Yeah.
Thanks. About 1 in 4 is a really, really nice piece. About 1 in 8 is pretty ordinary, and the rest have certain sage hold. That's not a bad collection. In particular, the third bar on the second line, that's one of the really more radical ones.